Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Today we are going to look at writing for different modes and expression such as cause and effect, compare and contrast, and express point of views. The purpose of cause and effect in writing. A cause is something that produces an event or condition. An effect is what results from an event or condition. The purpose of the cause and effect essay is to determine how various phenomena relate in terms of origins and results. What is a cause and effect essay? Cause and effect essays are concerned with many things happen, which is causes, and what happens as a result, which is effects. Cause and effect is a common method of organizing and discussing ideas. A cause and effect essay is one that shows how two or more events are connected. This type of essay is meant to explain and analyze why something happened or how something occurred. Phrases you may have heard that are similar to cause and effect are actions and consequence and chains of events. Example of a cause and effect essay. Example 1. Why brushing your teeth causes good health. This essay would offer facts or data that the bacteria in the plaque are unhealthy for you. It would then show that brushing your teeth causes your mouth to have less plaque. The essay would outline a two-step cause and effect. Brushing your teeth has the effect of reducing the amount of plaque in your mouth, and reduced amount of plaque has a positive effect on your health. Another example of cause and effect essay is how the stamp act caused anger in the American colonies. This essay would include enough text for the reader to understand the historical time period. It would then present the Stamp Act, which is a list of unfair taxes, as the cause of colonial anger. The essay would show the effects of the Stamp Act by explaining how the colonies protested the violence. Types of cause and effect essay with topics. Cause and effect essays can be looked at in two broad categories. The first is an essay that examines how multiple causes lead to a single large effect. The second is an essay that shows how one large cause has multiple effects, such as multiple causes leading to one effect and one cause leading to multiple effects. Multiple causes leading to one effect. Example, why gorillas are endangered. This essay would examine the causes that combine to create a single effect, a low number of gorillas. The writer could identify three main causes. 1. Loss of habitat. 2. Poaching. And 3. War. One paragraph would explain how habitat loss makes it harder for gorillas to find food. A second paragraph would show that people kill gorillas for trophies and food. And third paragraph would state that gorillas are killed by bombs and landmines when people are at war in the area. The essay would conclude by combining the evidence of these three causes to explain how it endangers gorillas. One cause leading to multiple effects. Example, how exercise improves your health. An essay of this type would be about how exercise can have several positive effects on your health. The essay would begin by defining what exercise is and explaining how common exercise are performed. The writer would then focus one paragraph at a time on several positive effects of exercise. For instance, there could be a paragraph about how exercise leads to a healthier heart. Evidence to support the connection between exercise and a healthy heart would be included. Another paragraph would show the effect that exercise can have on muscle strength and bone density. A third paragraph would give evidence that exercise causes a reduction in stress. The essay would end by connecting these three effects back to the same single cause, which is exercise. Parts of a cause and effect essay. Thesis. A thesis is a clear statement about what your essay will show. In the course of a cause and effect essay, a thesis will include both the causes and the effects that will be explained later in the essay. Example, gorillas are endangered because of poaching, war, and lost habitat. Another one, exercise causes many beneficial changes to your health. Parts of a cause and effect essay. Context or starting point. The writer must give the reader enough background information so that they can follow the thesis and understand the value of the information. Example, in the cause and effect essay about gorillas being endangered, the writer should include information about where gorillas live, what interaction people have with them, and their population. In the essay about exercise, the writer would need to explain about cardiovascular exercise and strength training exercise. The essay would also give a brief explanation of how these activities are performed. An action or event. This is a central part of a cause and effect essay. The action or event needs to be described in such a way that the reader can understand what the action or event caused. Example, in an essay about exercise, running may be chosen as an event to describe. The essay would explain how running causes the heart and lungs to work hard. An essay about endangered gorillas would need to describe poaching, which is illegal hunting. The consequence of effect. The effect of the event must be described in a cause and effect essay. Example, in the essay about exercise, the effect of running is a healthier heart and lungs. And in the essay about gorillas, the effect of poaching is that there are fewer wild gorillas left to breed. Tips for writing a strong cause and effect essay. Clearly identify the causes and effects for the reader. A strong cause and effect essay identify the causes and effects for the reader. Remember that the cause is the reason. It explains why something happened. Meanwhile, an effect is what happened or the result. B. Determine the type of cause and effect essay. The topic of a cause and effect essay must be a single idea. Once you have chosen the single idea, you should determine if it is more useful to analyze it as a cause or as an effect. Look at the table below. In the column on the left, we have essay with single cause and multiple effects. In the column on the right, we have AC with multiple causes creating a single effect. Topic as cause, such as how being healthy affects a person's lifestyle. The topic here is health, and topic as effect is things a person can do to achieve health. Topic as cause are the benefits of farming, and the topic is seed growth, whereas topic as effect the elements of farming. As you can see, topics can be looked at from either standpoints, but an essay normally only focuses on one. It can become confusing to write and read an essay that cover multiple effects and multiple causes. So be sure that you know the central topic and which type of essay structure you are using. Explain and analyze instead of just listing effects and causes. A strong cause and effect essay does more than just list information. It also analyzes how the information fits together and explain the important parts to the reader. The explanation is often combined with the effect part of the essay. This part of the essay is the evidence or reasoning that allow the reader to connect the cause with the effect clearly. Example, listing information without explanation. Exercise, like running, is good for your heart and lungs. A healthy cardiovascular system is important for your health, so running is good for you. Example 2. Incomplete, listing information without explanation. Poaching kills too many gorillas. Because of poachers, there are fewer gorillas in the wild and they become endangered. Another one is complete, explaining the effect fewer gorillas will be born of poaching, which is the cause. Poaching kills too many gorillas. Poaching removes not only the gorillas but future generations as well. Gorillas have an average of 3 babies in their lifetime. Because of poachers, there are fewer gorillas in the wild. Even worse, there will be fewer gorillas born in the future. Compare and contrast. A compare and contrast essay analyzes two subjects by either comparing them, contrasting them, or both. The purpose of writing a comparison or contrast essay is not to state the obvious, but rather to eliminate subtle differences or unexpected similarities between two subjects. What exactly is a compare and contrast essay? Simply put, it is an essay evaluating the similarities and differences between two subjects. This subject will be in the same category but different. You might compare and contrast two different kinds of pets or two novels from the same historical time period. Maybe you are thinking that writing an essay about just one subject is hard enough. Where do you even begin with a coherent essay about two topics? No worries, here is a step-by-step guide to writing a great compare and contrast essay. Step 1. Choose your subject. Remember that your two subjects must be different, but still in the same ballpark. To create a meaningful compare and contrast essay, for example, if you want to write about two different historical figures, it makes sense to choose two great artists rather than an artist and a politician. Example like such as below. Step 2. Brainstorm similarities and differences. Make two lists, one list of similarities and another of differences. If you are a visual person, a Venn diagram can facilitate this process. Simply create two overlapping circles, one for each of the topics that you are comparing. Traits that differ are noted separately. Within those that they share are written in the overlapping space. This is a helpful visual aid because it organizes similarities and differences clearly. All you have to do is glance at your Venn diagram to get a sense of the things that you could write about. If you prefer to focus on one subject at a time, jot your list down on a blank sheet of paper and flip it over to the other side for the other subject. Remember to keep characteristics of the different subjects somewhat parallel. This will make it easier to structure a good argument. Here is an example of graphic organizer that can be used for brainstorming similarities and differences. Step 3. Hone in on your main argument. A good compare and contrast essay goes beyond a simple listing of similarities and differences to make a meaningful statement about a larger topic. When you look at the list you have made, what strikes you as significant? What do these similarities and differences say about the topic? That will be your main argument. Step 4. Decide on organizational structure. There are many possibilities of structuring a compare and contrast essay. You could write about one subject in detail and then switch to another. Let's say you are comparing and contrasting women and men. You could write two paragraphs about the qualities that are common to women, which they tend to do to be more compassionate. They are good multitaskers, along with some that they share with men. They are capable of sacrificing self for the goods of others. Then you would focus on men in the next section. Men usually have superior physical strength and technical skills. Step 4. Decide on your organizational structure. You can also go point by point throughout the essay. In this case, your first body paragraph might state, while men may not always show compassion for the problems of others, they are usually more likely to actually do something to fix this problem. You could also on similarities first and then differences. In this case, your first body paragraph might read, the male and female brain are alike, and both men and women perform better when they feel appreciated and valued. Choose a structure that makes sense for your argument. Step 5. Write an outline. Craft an outline that fits the structure you have chosen. Traditionally, an essay consists of an introductory paragraph, three body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Step 6. Fill in supporting evidence. As you begin to write your essay, back up your assertions with evidence from research. reading, or personal experience. If you are comparing and contrasting cats and dogs, use personal anecdotes about friends and their pets to bolster your argument. My roommate dogs always greet him when he comes home each day, but my cat never does. If you are writing about similarities and differences between the poetry of Shakespeare and Keats, include plenty of quotes from their poems to support your statement. With any information that you include, be sure to explain why it matters in the context of your larger argument. Step 7. Craft your essay with strong transitional words. Transitional words give your essay a nice flow from one statement to the next. When comparing, use words like both, likewise, and similarly. Words such as nonetheless, on the other hand, and whereas are ideal for forming a contrast. Step 8. Proofread and revise carefully. Once you have finished, read your essay several times to check spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Make use of spell check and grammar check tools in your word processing program. If possible, get a friend to cast a fresh pair of eyes on it to find mistakes you might have missed. We often have difficulty reading our own work objectively and can miss silly mistakes. Follow this step and you will be well on your way to writing a compare and contrast essay that cannot fail to impress your reading audience. Point of view. Point of view refers to who is telling or narrating a story. A story can be told from the first person, second person, or third person point of view. Writers use point of view to express the personal emotion of either themselves or their characters. The point of view of a story is how the writer wants to convey the experience to the reader. Reviewing point of view example for each type is a great way to understand the different approaches. First person point of view. With first person point of view, the main character is telling the story. Readers will see the words I, me, or we in the first person writing. It is commonly used for narrative and autobiographies. First person point of view can be singular or plural. The singular form uses I or me, and the plural form uses the word we. Both are used to give the writer personal perspective. Example, I always look forward to my summer vacation at the beach. I like to collect seashells and swim in the ocean. We love walking the dogs in the woods. We all think it is so much fun. If it was up to me, I would choose the white cat. We didn't want to drive, so we took the train to the city and back home. First person peripheral point of view. The first person peripheral is similar to the standard first person point of view in many ways, but there is one significant difference. The story is conveyed to reader by a narrator, but the narrator is not actually the main character. When a story is written in the first-person peripheral point of view, I or me refers to the narrator, not the protagonist. When we or us is used, the terms refer to the narrator and one or more individuals, which may or may not include the main character. I always admired Jim and fully expected him to accomplish great things. I look forward to sharing his accomplishment with you. Next, I hope that you will come to understand just what it is about Jim that sets him apart from other politicians. Something Jim said to me when we were children led me to believe that he would one day change the world. Lastly, we should all be so lucky as to have someone like Jim in our life. Second person point of view. When writing from a second person point of view, the writer has the narrator speaking to the reader. The words you, your, and yours are used from this point of view. Some common uses for second person point of views are directions, business writing, technical writing, song lyric, speeches, and advertising. Example, in just a few simple steps, you can make a big change in your life. To make a great chili, you must season it early and often. Management is very happy with the progress you are all making. You got to fight for your right to party. Third person point of view. Third person point of view has an external narrator telling the story. This perspective can be singular or plural, as well as gender specific or gender neutral. Words like he, she, it, or they are used in this point of view. Third person point of view is often used in academic writing and fiction. There are three types of third point of view. Third person point of view. Third person point of view has an external narrator telling the story. This perspective can be singular or plural, as well as gender specific or gender neutral. Words like he, she, it, or they are used in this point of view. Third person point of view is often used in academic writing and fiction. There are three types of third person point of view. First, third person omniscient point of view. Second, third person multiple point of view. And lastly, third person limited point of view. Third person omniscient point of view. With third person omniscient point of view, the narrator has insight into what all the characters are thinking and doing at all times. While Bob was planning a special night out with Madison, she was quietly making plans to break up with him. All of their friends would be shocked to discover her plans. Amy was looking forward to girls' night out, but the others in her group of friends were secretly hoping that the monthly outing would be cancelled. Third person multiple point of view. With third person multiple point of view, the narrator knows the thoughts, motivation, and action of more than one character in the story, but they don't share the same level of insight with all characters. Example, Ed teachers knew how much potential the teenager had, but the reality is that he just was not interested in school. He had too many obligations at home. Another example is Jane was looking forward to a upcoming vacation. Her boss knew she had earned the time off, but was concerned about some upcoming deadlines. Third person limited point of view. With the third person limited point of view, the narrator only has insight into one character's thought processes. Example, he knows that he is a great football player. He is proud to have scored the most touchdowns this season. Next, she was the one who knew all the answers on the test. She had the highest grade in the entire class. Lastly, she heard a loud crash in the middle of the night. She was so scared that she didn't know what she should do next. Using different point of view. What point of view you choose to use in writing depends on how you want the story directed to the reader. If you are telling a story from the writer perspective, use the first point of view to provide a sense of intimacy. To direct the writing at the reader, say for a recipe or speech, use the second person as a way to separate the writer from the narrative. To tell the story from an outside perspective, with the ability to have an overview of a piece, use the third person. Always be consistent in your writing and stick with one point of view throughout. This makes it easier for the reader to understand your angle. To further enhance your skill, review how to use point of view in your writing.